But to be a supplier on Alibaba, the lowest cost is $5,000 for 1 year.
Wow, that's expensive.
The suppliers, they also need to pay for the traffic, just like the same on Amazon. They have the PPC. The cheapest booth in the Canton Fair is more expensive than $10,000. If you run into any scams, you got no place to get your money back.
If I am sourcing from a supplier not on Alibaba, is there a way I can still use Alibaba Trade Assurance?
Especially for household products, it's impossible to move from outside of China. Many industrial clusters in different cities in China, manufacturers that making the same type of products, they prefer stay in the same area, like workers, materials. We can take legal actions to sue the manufacturer. In last year, when the pandemic breaking out, especially small shipping company bankrupt, the rest of the shipping company, they are big companies and they also want to make more money.
What's happening, guys? Today I have a very special guest with me. I have Jing. He's the CEO of Jing Sourcing. Now he is in China, he's actually in Yiwu, and he has a good on-the-ground knowledge of finding really difficult products or products maybe you can't find on Alibaba. But Jing, thank you so much for joining me. And if you want to give a quick introduction.
Dan, nice to meet you, and nice to meet all your audience. And I'm Jing, the founder of Jing Sourcing, and I started my company in 2015. And now we have over 70 full-time staff working in Yiwu, China. And we also helped a lot of new Amazon sellers to build their business and growing their business. And it's very good opportunity to join this interview that can share all my knowledge about how to source difficulty products.
Awesome. And so, Jing, I think a good starting point for all of the viewers is what is expected of me from beginning to end with sourcing. Like, let's say I'm a brand new seller. I've never sourced something, or I'm sourcing from a brand new manufacturer. What's expected from me as the seller or as the buyer when I approach a supplier from beginning to end?
The most important thing is that you should have a plan. That it could be a plan of such like your budget that you are going to spend on the product for the first order or for the second order. Yeah, you should have the budget, and then you can try to analyze like what kind of product that you can choose to develop. And sometimes some products development will cost you a lot of money to start up with. So for those projects, of course, if you only have like few hundred or a couple of $1,000, you have to like give up. And even though like you have enough money for the first order, but when you are going to like the business is going well and you are going to play the second order, then you run out of money. So it's also not good. So you should have a plan, at least on the budget. And then the second thing is you also have a plan on the time schedule to launch the project, because for product development, sometimes it will cost you several months to finish the like prototype, to finish the samples before production, and also finish the massive production. And also the shipping, yeah, that will take you like 1.5 months if you want to ship by the sea. So you also should have a time schedule to launch the whole project.
And then, Jing, what about product requirements? So do you have a couple rules that people should play by or have ready before approaching the supplier?
Before you want to reach out to the manufacturer to develop a product, you should have like a very clear requirement on the products, and such like how you want to customize the product, and you should be like have the design file, or you can maybe get a product sample. Maybe it's from your competitors, so you can ship the sample to the supplier to show them that you are ready for that, instead of just give them a picture of the product and ask them to quote. And also you can also give the manufacturer your detailed requirement for the product, such like the quality, how good quality you want the product, and also like what kind of acceptable defect rate that you want the manufacturer to ensure. Yeah, and this is the requirement for the like product quality.
And Jing, just to jump in there, that's a really important point. So give me an example of a range of what people should be looking for on defective products. Like, can 5% of the order be defective or 10%? What's a good range to use there in your experience?
Well, this is also a very good question because like for defect rate, it differs from products. And for example, like if it's a very expensive electronic products, maybe the manufacturer price costs like $10 or $20, then the defect rate should be like as low as possible, like maybe 0%. Because for this kind of like high value electronic products, the manufacturer will have their QC department to do inspection of each product to test the functions before shipping. So for this kind of product, of course, like the defect rate will be should be like as low as possible, like 0. And also for some like daily use products, it's normal that the defect rate like 5% or 3%. So it depends on the like the quote you get from the manufacturer, because sometimes like you are comparing the price between different manufacturers, and maybe the one of the supplier offer you the best quality, like best quotation, the lowest price. And when it comes to the defect rate, maybe their defect rate is what they can control is 5%. And if you want to reduce the 5% defect rate into like 1%, then they will tell you that, okay, we have to at one process to during the inspection, or we have to like pick out all the defect products. And that means like the cost of making the whole batch is going up. So they will ask you that you need to increase the price.
Got you. And then you said there in terms of inspections, the next question I would say, because it kind of seems like a 5% defect rate, it's a good like number to peg it on if it's a, not a very expensive product. But should a seller or a buyer buying from the manufacturer, should they have an independent company do an inspection? Should they have an Alibaba partnered inspector do the inspection? Or should they just rely on the manufacturer, on the supplier to do their own inspection and produce good units? What's your advice on that?
Well, for third-party inspection, of course, it's very good to hire one if you can afford for the cost. The cost is around $200 to $300 for one person 1 day workload. And yeah, it's good that if you like when you place order, you can tell the manufacturer that the balance will be paid after the inspection, and you will send third-party inspection to visit the manufacturer. Then the manufacturer will feel pressure that if they didn't make the product well, they will not get paid the balance. When you want to sell a product, of course you want to sell the product for long term, and you also need to like maintain a good relationship with the manufacturer. That means you will reorder the product. So in the first few orders, you can hire third-party inspection company. If the manufacturer's quality is good and they are a very responsible person, then you don't need to hire the third-party inspection company in the future.
And tell me this, if I stop hiring inspection services, will the quality go down?
The most important thing is like, can you feel that if the manufacturer is worthy to trust, if they are reliable after few orders? The manufacturer, they want long-term relationship. If the manufacturer like they behave not so well in the beginning, in the first order, then that means in the future orders, you always need to hire a third-party inspection company.
And guys, sorry to cut in here, but check the description below. I'm going to have a link to Jing's YouTube channel. He uploads video tutorials for free there. So you can go start learning sourcing today, absolutely free, and a link to Jing Sourcing itself. If you want him and his team to help you with sourcing, inspections, freight, and everything else. Or perhaps you're really struggling to find a specific product. As you can tell, he has a lot of knowledge on this. Yeah, you see, for me, I see where you're coming from, because I have some suppliers or manufacturers who I don't do inspections with on the basis that I know if they produce bad units, yes, I might not catch it in the inspection, but I have worked with them for a long time. I might not catch it in the inspection, but then customers are going to tell me. They're going to say, hey, this item was missing, this item was broken, etc. And then I have to go back to them. And if that gets bad enough, I'm not going to order from them again and they lose business. So I agree with you here in terms of long-term business. That's always something I'm positioning with a supplier is, help me out now. We can do bigger reorders in the future. And it's all played towards that long-term side because I know that's valued a lot in China as well, is that long-term kind of business relationship.
Yeah, and here also another very important thing is like if you're hiring a third-party inspection company, they just do the random check, like the checking percentage, like 5%. Yeah, there's like a sampling level, like sampling standard, but usually the percentage of the bulk order check is very low. So in this kind of situation, you cannot control the defect rate to zero. So sometimes like our customer, they want zero defect products. And in this kind of situation, like they will come to us and we will help them like inspect the product one by one because we have warehouse, we have the workers, a lot of workers in our warehouse. So the customer, they will ask the manufacturer to ship all the product in our warehouse. Then we hire people to do the full inspection to pick out all the defect items. And what we charge is very low, like $5 per hour. Yeah, it's very low cost labor in China. And then in this kind of situation, like we can help the customer to ensure the defect rate to zero.
Okay, I see. So if someone is a bit worried about this, they could come use Jing Sourcing, your company, and have all of those pieces set up properly. Excellent. And then what are your thoughts then on shipping? So some sellers or buyers in this instance, they like to use their own freight forwarders. Others like to go to like a freight website like freightos.com and they book quotes individually for each shipment. Others ask the supplier themselves if they have like a partnered forwarder, like if the supplier can do the shipping for them as well. So what is your opinion on all those options? What's best? What's the best process for shipping?
It's good that if the client, like the importers, the sellers, they have a couple of freight forwarders that they are working together because they can always ask them about the shipping quote. Like it's also very important if they want to estimate what is the total cost to import a product from China. So yeah, it's good that if the seller have a freight forwarder. And as to like using manufacturers, using the suppliers freight forwarders, it really depends because for the manufacturer on Alibaba and not most percentage of their customer are from United States. Their customer are from everywhere. Depends on their product. Maybe for some products they only sell to to the Mid East and they seldom sell to America, but there will be some American customer needed. So for this kind of suppliers, they don't have much shipping company resource for shipping to United States. So their quote will be quite expensive. And also like they are not familiar with the compliance certification rules for custom clearance in the United States. Then you will run into trouble if you didn't provide some certification buying the product. So yeah, I always suggest that sellers, they should have freight forwarders or have a sourcing company that they can compare the shipping quote with the one that the supplier quote, and the seller can choose the better one.
Where else can I source from besides Alibaba, particularly to give me a competitive advantage? And how should I go about this if there's language barriers, payment concerns? Because of course, Alibaba, we have trade assurance. We've got great English suppliers like yourself. So when we go elsewhere, 1688, or these different areas, it could even just be an independent website in China. We have a lot of payment concerns and then barriers with language. So where else can people source and what do you recommend with this? And also how can Jing Sourcing help with this?
I have to say, like Alibaba is the like largest platform for Chinese suppliers, and it's also like quite safe when compared with other platforms because Alibaba have the trade assurance, and yeah, you don't have like trade assurance on in global source or made in China, this kind of website. When there's no pandemic, a lot of sellers will like come to China, go to the Canton Fair to find a manufacturer. You can also find very good manufacturer resource in Canton Fair because in Alibaba, a lot of like small trading companies, they pay a lot of money, pay a lot of membership fee, and their website, their page looks like a good company. But this kind of trading company, they won't go to Canton Fair. And because for Canton Fair, it's more expensive. Like the cheapest booth in the Canton Fair is more expensive than a 10,000 US dollars. Yeah, just for like 3-4 days. The cheapest is the cheapest. So for some big importers, if the big buyers, if they want to find a good manufacturer, of course they go to Canton Fair. It's more efficient than browsing on Alibaba. But like recently, because you cannot come to China, and so there's no chance to find the supply on Canton Fair. So like some people, they will, yeah, it's also possible to do like Google search. But for Google search, the problem is it will be very hard to verify the supply's background. And yeah, you don't have a trade assurance, so you really need to spend a lot of time to identify if they are trustworthy. And except for that, like as I mentioned, like the website 1688, well, this website have even larger numbers of suppliers than Alibaba, and 1688 is supposed for the domestic market in China. Like for example, you want to a Chinese company, they want to purchase product, they want to find suppliers, and they will go there to find the suppliers. But the numbers of supply is much more than Alibaba. And also on 1688, there are a lot of small individual person like doing the business. They have contact information of some manufacturer and they just open a shop on 1688 because it's cheap. The membership fee is cost like $500. You can be a supplier on 1688. But to be a supplier on Alibaba, the lowest cost is 5,000 US dollars for 1 year.
Wow, that's expensive. Imagine it cost $5,000 to be a seller on Amazon.
And also on Alibaba, like the suppliers, they also need to pay for the traffic, just like the same on Amazon. They have the PPC.
I've seen that where it will pop up like a sponsored ad.
For 1688, like you have larger numbers of suppliers, and most of them they don't speak English, and it will be so hard that to deal with it. And sometimes if you run into like any scams or you get like bad quality products, you got no place to get your money back. There's still a lot of other ways to find suppliers other than Alibaba, but Alibaba is still like the best platform that if you want to find the supplier, place order by yourself. Then the third way is using a sourcing company like us.
Okay, so Jing, another thing here is if I am sourcing from a supplier not on Alibaba, is there a way I can still use Alibaba trade assurance, even though they're not on Alibaba? Is it possible to do this?
That's a very good question. And the answer is no. Only Alibaba membership seller, they can use they can offer the trade assurance payment for buyers. The supplier, they have to pay 5,000 US dollar per year to be a membership on Alibaba, then offer the trade assurance. And that's why we opened Alibaba account just for our customer to use the trade assurance. Some new customer, they are not so confident to wire money direct to us, so they will use the trade assurance.
For sure. And then have you ever used other escrow services? So like trade assurance is an escrow.
Yeah, the only one. This is the only one. Oh, and also PayPal. Yeah, and also PayPal. PayPal or Alibaba trade assurance. Only these two.
Okay. All right. So those would be the next options for someone who's not sourcing from Alibaba. And if they are doing it alone, probably PayPal is going to be the best because there is a way to get money back. And then I want you here to really talk about Jing sourcing, because this is what you guys specialize in. As you said, you set up an account with Alibaba, which remember is like $5,000 a year, just so you can help your clients use trade assurance if they don't trust you to wire you. So please explain how Jing sourcing can help with the same situation.
So like that's why a lot of customer they will choose us to help them source products. We have two type of service that we have basic service and the pro service. Basic service means like if the seller have their own supplier and they want us to help them like consolidate the shipment, inspect quality, and arrange the shipping, then they only pay us 5% of the service fee, and we help them do all these kind of things, and also help them like customize packages if they want. And for sellers who don't want to get involved with the manufacturing process, then they can choose our Pro plan. For Pro plan, we will help our customer to follow up the whole production from sample until like we help them ship the product. And for production, usually it takes like at least 1 month. So like you will get a professional agent to follow you up for the whole process to ensure to coordinate with different manufacturers to ensure all your products are made as you're required. And it really helps when you have several supplier for different products, then we help you save a lot of time because we don't have any like time zone difference with the suppliers, and we speak Chinese with them, and there will be like no culture difference, no misunderstanding. So we can, as long as we know we keep our customers' requirement in mind, then we will ensure the product can be made like in time and the same as our customer required it. And so this is like two type of service, the pro and the basic. So for the pro service, the customer, they can decide either to use the supplier they find on Alibaba, or they can use the supplier sourced by us. So the benefit for using our supplier is we will guarantee for the quality. For example, like if the customer receive bad quality products during selling, and they can just report us how many defects and what are the defects, and we will find our own way to like get compensation from the manufacturer and pay the customers. So that means using the supplier source from us will be more safe.
Less risk. Yeah. I think that's great because that's using your on the ground knowledge. You know, you're locally there, you know the language, you're not going to get ripped off. You're going to be able to find harder to find things. Does your company offer, or can you organize inspections and shipping of the products? Can you do those things, including like prepping and packing and labeling for Amazon? Do you do those?
No matter it's a pro service or basic service, it all includes a general inspection, and it will be finished in our warehouse. So the product will be all shipped to our warehouse. We inspect the quality by percentage. If the quality is good, we ship out. If we find the quality problems, then we will help the customer to deal with the manufacturer. If the supplier, they hire a third-party inspection company, the inspection company can only tell you the inspection result is positive or negative. Then the customer, they have to find their own way to negotiate with the manufacturer to fix the product and to then arrange the second inspection again. The customer is paying more money. But for us, we will take care of this.
Okay. And then you also can organize the freight forwarder, the shipping to the warehouse.
Exactly. Yeah, because we ship a lot of products to Amazon every day. So we can get very good shipping quotes. No matter for the product price or the shipping quote, the customer can always compare with the resource they found, and they choose the better one.
And so this brings us to the next points, Jing, which are about local manufacturing. So particularly now with higher shipping costs, people are looking to source locally, like made in the USA. They also get the marketing benefit. Alibaba actually does have suppliers from even the US or Germany or India or Vietnam, not only China. But what's your opinion on local manufacturing? And can you also help clients do that local manufacturing?
Well, moving manufacturing from China to Southeast Asia, India, US, yeah, this thought came out for years, and but I have to say, like for daily use consumer products, like especially for household products, it's impossible to move from outside of China because China has very well developed supply chain, especially for this type of items. And there are also like many industrial clusters in different cities in China. That means manufacturers that making the same type of products, they prefer stay in the same area that they can share the same resource, like workers, materials, and their suppliers. And also sometimes some small scale manufacturers, they will outsource several parts of their manufacturing process to some like studios. For example, like socks. A lot of small socks manufacturers, they will outsource the dyeing process to other manufacturers instead of finish the whole process in their own warehouse, in their own manufacturer. This is the one thing that it's impossible to move this kind of manufacturer to other countries. And only for products that can be automatically made by machines, it's possible to move from like US or Europe because it don't need the expensive labor to make the product. But the problem is you still need to import the materials from China, and you still cannot avoid the expensive shipping fee problem. Or you have to source the raw material in America and use automatic machine in America to make the product. Then it's possible to avoid the shipping problem.
Awesome. So, in terms of Jing sourcing, you guys don't focus on that. You focus predominantly on China sourcing.
Yeah. We don't source out of China, and the reason why we focus in China because we know how to how to find manufacturers in China instead of other countries. And the advantage of us is we can visit the manufacturers to see if they are make the product correct. So, and also one important thing is if we receive the better quality product, we can take legal actions to sue the manufacturer. But if it's manufactured outside of China, and it's also very hard for us to like get the lost back.
For sure. And I love what you mentioned about these kind of like hubs of manufacturing where you've got like neighboring businesses in the same industry. They're selling the same thing. Like you could have like like a block of buildings which just does stuff like toilet seats, and like the whole, supplying area, all the businesses there do that product. And so I think that's very difficult to recreate in other countries. That's why China's become such a manufacturing power. And that is very difficult to displace. So that brings me to my next question, Jing, which is fine. We source from China, but the shipping rates are astronomical right now. And I know this is not like your absolute expertise, this area, but I just want your insight on this. When do you think shipping rates are going to come down? Is there a way to source or work with your supplier or manufacturer to get these rates a bit lower per unit? How can we stay profitable through this shipping crisis until it does become, a bit more normal and more profitable again for everyone in the process?
Well, it's all like for the shipping rate issue, it all depends on the pandemic situation in the world. And for example, like you can also like no one can predict when the pandemic will over. Yeah, it's the same as the shipping fee. And also like in last year when the pandemic like breaking out, a lot of shipping company, like especially small shipping company, bankrupt. So the rest of the shipping company, like they are big companies and they want to like make more money. China has a lot of like products ship out to the rest of the world, and there are less containers and vessels available that are coming back. That's why it makes not so many vessels available leaving from Port China like every week. Before the pandemic, there will be vessels leaving almost every day. Yeah, but the things changed. So yeah, we have no other choice to like directly avoid the expensive shipping costs. So my suggestion will be try to choose products which is smaller volume, the smaller size, and the higher value. And also like the air shipping cost is not that expensive when compared with the time when there's no pandemic. It's like 20-30% higher. Yeah, only like this than before. But the shipping rate is around 7 times more expensive than before.
Yeah, I would agree with that. Even for sea shipping, small products, higher value, because if it's $4 more per product to ship now, say it was $2 before, now it's $6 per unit to ship. That's easier to pass on $4 to the customer, on a $50 product, $60 product, very easy, but very difficult if your product is like $12. If you guys do want to learn more about Jing sourcing, make sure you check the description below. I've really enjoyed talking to Jing and Emma and his team. They're a small but growing business in China, and I really like that about them. They're very personable. They've got a small team there, which is really going to focus on your sourcing needs if this is something that you do need. But Jing, thank you so much for joining. And is there anything else that you want to say to the viewers or let them know exactly where to find you?
Thank you for offering this interview opportunity today. It's also very welcome to visit my YouTube channel, and I have a playlist called Import from China Guide, and that's a very comprehensive one for people who have no idea about import from China. And after watching those 10 videos, you will get a very good understanding, and you will become kind of like expert on importing from China. And I will explain a lot of things like how to find suppliers, choose the most effective shipping solutions, and also like reduce risk when buying product from China. And it's very helpful.
Excellent. Well, thank you so much, Jing. So guys, check it out below. His YouTube channel is going to be there, as well as a link to Jing Sourcing itself. If you do need help sourcing maybe a harder to find product, or you just want them to handle inspections and freight and all the rest for you, they're a good partner based in Yiwu. Remember to drop a comment below if you did find the hidden product in this video. Remember to smash like, that helps us a lot. Subscribe to the channel, and I will catch you guys in the next video.